Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, August the 22nd, 2022. Monday, August the 22nd, 2022. Today's Young and the Restless was simply a conversation day. Conversations between Billy, Victoria, Chance, and Abby, Adam and Victor, and Nick and Sharon. Whole show was just back and forth with conversations with them. Let's start with Victoria. Well, let's start with Nick and Sharon. Nick shows up as Sharon is closing up and he wanted to talk to her. So, of course, she locks the place down. They take down some chairs and she does her usual talking to him, helping him process things. I mean, Sharon actually she's good to talk to. She gives good advice. She just can never take she can never apply her advice to her own self. But you know what? Most people can't. But she gives very, very good advice to Nicholas because, as we all know, Nicholas's main struggle is going to be having to live with the fact that he killed a man. That's his main struggle. So then we had let's see, Adam shows up. He says he's picking up some stuff, from the ranch, and he wanted to make sure he acknowledged or told Victor that, he was there, which was good. He goes, I don't want to be accused of sneaking in and out of the ranch. I want you to know I'm here. I'm just picking up some things. And he was actually definitely trying to goad his father with a lot of the things he was saying. And Victor was like, what are you trying to pick a fight? What are you trying to goad me? I mean, Victor, he wasn't having it. He goes, I'm in too good a mood. Things are going so well. And so Adam is trying to find out what's going so well. What are you talking about? So Victor just ends up saying that, yes, Chance is closing the case. Ashland's death, he died when he drove off that ravine. And Adam is like, no, no, that's just what he's saying. And kind of almost made it like, what pressure did you put on Chance? And Victor's like, Chance is a very upstanding person, as you know, Adam. So Adam did kind of back off of that angle a bit, but he goes, he just realized it simply is what it is, even though it really wasn't what it was. But Adam doesn't need to know, nor does he deserve to know. But what Adam does deserve, to me, is a little respect, because it's like Adam said, everything you asked me to do, even in reference to Ashland Locke, I did. I've every test you've given me, pretty much I've always done, completed, but I still am never good enough. And Victor's like, look, I'm not even hearing this from you. You chose to walk away from the family. You still could be running Newman Media, but we got your ex-girlfriend that none of us really trust, which was so interesting. He definitely put Sally down. And it just, ended. It was just a useless, pointless, time-wasting conversation that we all had to suffer through with Adam and Victor. Then we have Victoria decided she was going to go home, after they got the announcement from Chance. So Victoria decides, you know what, the kids are asleep, but I want to go home, I guess, to make sure she felt comfortable enough to be there before she ever brought the kids into it, which was a good idea, because they wouldn't need to see her, nervous, because she heard something tapping on the glass, which I did too. And she went and she didn't see anything, but then the flashback of Ashland peering through that window pane startled her. And then she kept looking over at the fireplace where he, was laying dead and blood everywhere. Thank goodness they had that house sanitized and cleaned. But she was very, very jumpy, nervous, and scared. And Billy came over, which one thing I really like is the relationship that Billy and Victoria have. They truly love each other. Now, they're not in love with each other, but they love each other. And that I really actually like that, because he wanted to actually make her feel more comfortable coming back home. And she actually told him the absolute truth about, because he felt there was more to the story. That wasn't just an accident. And she told him the truth. And he says it won't ever go past me. And I believe it won't, because he wants to protect Victoria, period, and Nick, but more so Victoria. He feels she needs to be able to move on. And so he goes, well, you know what? Let's talk about other memories that happened in this house. Let's get the Ashland Locke memory. Let's kind of push that in the back and let some of the other memories that happened here in this house come to the forefront of your mind. And I thought that was a really good thing to do, because they started talking about the kids when they first brought Johnny home, when Katie was born, when they first got the house and Victor had her arrested. I mean, and she chuckled about that, but they said this house hasn't changed. But in reality, what's funny, I thought the house is completely different. The layout is the same, but when they bought the house, it was this ugly yellow walls. It was truly a father knows best retro throwback. Even like they had old furniture, retro furniture in there. So the decorum of the house has completely changed. And thank goodness, because I was sick of that yellow theme that they had going on, and I can remember, and I want to pose this as a kind of a trivia. The first baby that Billy brought to Victoria after she, I think, lost theirs, Johnny came after. What baby was that? Does anybody remember? As a matter of fact, she and Billy were so retro, they even gave her a retro name. So the trivia is, what baby did Billy bring to Victoria? And I'm writing this down so I can make sure I address it. What baby did Billy bring to Victoria? And what did they name the baby? And then initially, babies that don't belong where they're not supposed to be, they always end up, they will rewrite it so that the actual parents get that child. But that's the trivia. So that'll be great. What baby? All right, I gave myself a little memory jogger. So that was just really good to me. It was, the best part was just them. And he goes, you know what? Just like we're talking about the good, we need to also talk about the not so good. And they did. They talked about Delia dying. They talked about, some of the other things that they have gone through in that house, in the house. It's been years that they've been together. So that was really touching to me. And I was happy spending more time with them talking than I was spending time with Nick and Sharon, although it was okay. I'd rather see Nick talking to Sharon than Sally, because when you talk about rich history, Nick and Sharon have that rich, actually their history is definitely much longer than Victoria and Billy's history. So, it was just a conversational Young and the Restless. So, we had a quick conversational daily recap today. There isn't too much of anything else that we could talk about from today. On Comment Corner, there was one comment from Vivian. Well, we have two comments. One is from Vivian. She says, is it Nick's son brother to watch Chelsea's son, because what she's saying is Christian one of Connor's brothers? And the answer is yes. And then Robin pretty much kind of asked the same thing in a bit. She says she enjoys the review. So thank you, Robin, for that. She says, and does Chelsea's son know that Christian is his brother? And I had to think about it. So I kind of want some comments from you, because remember when Chelsea and Nick got together after Adam was supposedly burned in the fire? You know, Nick always has to save people. They got together. I don't necessarily know that they ever, because the boys were really young. I don't think that they ever really addressed the fact that Connor and Christian are brothers. They're both Adam's sons. And I can recall when Connor was going through, couldn't work through his problems and was really acting out, they were at Nick's house and he locked Christian in the garage. And Chelsea and Nick were looking for Christian all over, and Connor was sitting right there on the bar playing with whatever he was playing for, acting like he didn't know what they were talking about. They're calling for Christian, Christian, and they're getting frantic when he knew all along he had locked that boy in the garage. So when Nick found him, Christian told him Connor locked him in there, and they came back and they said, Connor, did you lock Christian in the garage? And he goes, he was bothering me. Wow. You know, I still don't know if he thought he was locking his brother in the garage or his cousin. See, Chelsea's convenient. Connor thought he and Christian were related because Nick and Adam are brothers. Just like Chelsea wants to let him know that Victoria and Billy's son, look at, and I can't even, I just said the boy's name a minute ago. Johnny, are brothers due to she's both of their mothers. She sure is forgetting about Christian. Why is that? I mean, the same applies. Johnny, Connor is getting older, and we wouldn't want him to resent Adam for not telling him about his brother Christian. So we shall see where that's going. But those are some great comments. Great comments. And if anybody can remember, did they ever tell Connor that Christian is his brother? Write a comment. I would love, love, love to hear from you. And that's it for the Young and the Restless daily recap for today. I will be back tomorrow with tomorrow's recap.